Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Here we are at Road America in the Ferrari Challenge Cup. This is a really good race. I actually recording the voiceover after the race, so lots to look forward to in this one. Quite a lot of action, being only a short sprint race as well, so one sort of spin has big results, and yeah, so you can see from the title it went quite well for me. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll take you through one qualifying lap and then straight into the race. So here we are going on to our second quali lap. Really struggling with the course, and especially this car. The car really loves to rotate on the brakes when you brake hard. So I like to dive down into third and then just grab this apex, and then most of the time you can put it flat down that straight. Do I have the odd occasion or a bit of oversteer? And then I do take this corner in second with a late apex. In the race that really helped me out down the straights against some of the other cars if they got a better run. I think you probably could take that corner in third, but I seem to get away with it in second and not lose too much time. So then coming down to, this is probably my least favourite set of corners on the track, and it causes me a couple of issues in the race, but there I take it quite nicely, take a nice bit of the curve on the way out. Occasionally I don't go out as far as I should there. And then this corner can be a real pain. I find myself oversteering a lot there in the race and having to correct. And then I only found out that you could do that in third gear without braking just before the race, so I was really pleased when I found that out for qualifying. So bringing it around the outside here, I'm really not sure of the line to take around here. All I know is that I like to go flat here and then push hard on the exit, giving myself the best run off as possible. And then just a little lift there, take the inside curve, and you should be able to run that pretty much flat. Dropping up to fifth gear, sometimes I can get up to sixth on the straight. There we go, I do, yeah. And then braking at the number 3 sign, putting it into second. I think I got a really nice turn in, got just enough of the outside curve without actually taking too much. And then pulling up this off camber turn, this can send your car a little bit sideways if you're not careful. And then this last corner, braking in a straight line out to the board, and then finally flying down the home straight. And as you can see, versus my all-time best lap, this was an absolutely fantastic qualifying lap for me. I was absolutely buzzing when I finished it. So let's go to the race. On the results screen, as you see, qualified up in third. And yeah, not too many other people qualified. It looks like a lot of people had a lot of incidents when I checked the incidents before the race, so quite a few low safety rating people in the race, which is a shame. But yeah, we'll get straight to the grid and let you enjoy the race. So here we are, going green on the race. So we have Mark Ibrahim behind, so he was a big player in this race. Spent a lot of time running with him. But here he's up the inside, and I pretty much give him that position. I don't fight it too hard into turn 1. I'm a big believer in just getting to the end, so my turn 1, lap 1 battles are always pretty relaxed. So I do run it a little bit wide, but so does he, so that gives me a good run up into turn 2, it gives me a good sort of blast down the straight line. So I look to the left, and it does close the door a bit there. And then I sort of jink to the right, and he closes the door there a little bit as well. We probably left it open, but I lifted to give him the space. And then you can see there, my wheel actually just got on the curb very slightly, or even the sand, and I just completely lost the back end. But luckily he was sort of smart enough to see that I'd gone to the inside and didn't turn in. I did, however, lose 2 places in that little incident there, where I just lost my concentration and got a wheel on the sand while I was braking. So not ideal at all. So now we're behind Raul, who was he seems to be pretty quick. So I let these 2 battle ahead of me, just following them through, not pushing too hard, following sort of the similar line to what they were taking. And in fact, I think I had quite similar race pace to these 2, so there wasn't too many issues in regards to actually following them. Did miss my braking point there a little bit, and as you can see, he runs wide onto the grass. Really looked nervous about him coming across the track and losing control, so I just eased off, but actually he held it really well, and when he got back onto the track he didn't lose much speed at all. So I didn't lose much time there to Mark, only a second or so, just as I lifted. but I think that was a smart decision to make there, just for purely just safety reasons more than anything, just not wanting to get wiped out if he did lose control. So a really exciting first lap there, lots going on. Did unfortunately lose a couple of places, so I think I finished this lap down in 5th from starting 3rd, which is unfortunate, but it was, you know, it was my fault. I locked up that rear right tyre on the dirt, sending me into sort of very nearly a slide. But as you can see, I can sort of keep pace with these two in these corners. It does give me a chance to sort of settle in now. Lap 2, I can not worry about the person behind me. I was keeping an eye on him and noticed that he hadn't really closed up much, so there wasn't really much of a worry for me there. So all I know to do is just focus on increasing my lap times on the cars ahead of me. So we just go through a couple of corners here, and you can see I actually run wide there, unfortunately getting a little off track. But ahead of me, Mark actually sort of understeers off the track here, unfortunately. He does sort of come back onto it quite quickly. Obviously checked his mirrors well there, and he saw me coming up through, and he didn't take the racing line, which I really appreciated, and sort of shows why I actually quite enjoyed racing against this guy. He just showed it, you know, a good level of awareness not to cause a wreck. Immediately I probably could have lifted, but I think at that point there was a few, you know, only me and him around. I think it was worth taking the opportunity to get past. I was aware obviously that he was a little bit quicker than me, but he did obviously drop back by about a second just because he lost a little bit of pace there by going off. Very nearly run wide on that corner, and then I can see him actually catching the guy in front, and at this point I thought, you know, I might actually be able to take 3rd here back, which would be really good. And then I noticed in the mirrors he was diving me up the inside, and I was really good there that I didn't turn in, because otherwise that would have been a big smash. But I managed to take the position back, and really nice little change over there, little switch back, and then I was back ahead of him again. He's obviously racing quite aggressively, but I think he was relatively safe, and I think he knew that I wouldn't turn in there. Or if he didn't know, I think it was just a mistake from him trying to outbrake me, which he was more than entitled to do, although he was a long way back, but he was ambitious. So in my mirrors I can see that he's all over the back of me for the rest of that lap. He puts on the pressure really well without sort of diving like he did earlier. I think he realised his mistake, but he just puts the pressure on a little bit, and I just touched the grass there as I was braking, and obviously a little bit of an off track there, and I actually slammed on the brakes because I know how easy it is just to carry on a slide once you have touched the grass. But there, unfortunately, I lost 3 seconds to him, and then I lost 3 seconds to the car behind, the number 7 car. So that was really unfortunate. And at this point, I was pretty much resigned to 5th place. I wasn't expecting anything good to happen, and I knew I was faster than the guy behind, so I didn't expect him to catch me. So I just got my head down, got back focused. Said to myself, you know, no more mistakes like that where you're touching the grass, because that's just a simple mistake, really easy to avoid. But at this point I'd done it twice in this race, and that caused me both my off tracks, and I was a little bit frustrated about that. But I knew ultimately I did have good pace, so I didn't think that I would lose the position, and especially certain sections of the track where I seemed a lot quicker than the people behind, so I wasn't too worried about that at all. So skipping a few corners, a couple of laps even, I'd actually turned the relative on. I was racing on my own pretty much, you know. I was dropping the car behind me, and I was doing well, you know, keeping pace with the car in front. But then I noticed obviously the yellow flag, and the guy that was actually in 3rd place made a mistake and he'd spun, and he wasn't, you know, massively quicker than me, and this is only a short race. So him dropping back all the way sort of 10 seconds behind, you know, he possibly had damage as well, just because he never really came back. He actually made a huge mistake there, and that actually gave me a huge bit of confidence, because I noticed I was reeling in Mark in front very slowly, you know, by sort of half a second a lap, and then I was clear from behind, so that gave me a huge opportunity. That I thought, you know what, I can get my 3rd place back, and I might actually be able to take a podium in this race, which will be my first podium in I think it was a C-class race, which was something I didn't think I've ever done. So I was, you know, I super got my head down, and I absolutely drove flat out from here to the end of the race just to try and catch him. and you can see there I've dropped, you know, only 3.5 seconds behind, and the gap at one point was up to 4.7, so I was reeling him in with my consistent lapping, which I was really pleased with. So skipping a few corners ahead, we're on lap 6. I know there's not many laps now left in the race, and he's 3 seconds ahead now, and I was thinking at this point I might not actually be able to catch him, and then I noticed yeah, the time delta dropped down massively and made a huge mistake and actually put it in the wall. He did reverse back out into the track, which I wasn't too happy with, if I'm honest, but you know, it was only me that was going to pass him, so I guess he saw that I would see him coming round and would be able to avoid him. And then obviously looking back, I was 5 seconds ahead of him now, with only, I think it was maybe 1, maybe 2 laps left. So I thought, well, I've actually got 3rd place here, and at this point I did start sort of panicking a little bit. I just was, you know, incredibly excited and nervous to actually finish this race, and it was all about keeping it on the track now. I had made those 2 mistakes. I hadn't actually made anything since, so I was really pleased with my consistency there, and I have noticed recently my consistency has improved massively in these races, so I was just hoping to, you know, push myself to the end, and then I see what I can do. So coming around the corner onto the final straight, accelerating up the hill, just so I get across the line, I notice the white flag, and it's the last lap of the race. He's actually 4.6 seconds back, so he had caught me very, very slightly from where he was, but he wouldn't have nowhere near enough pace to actually catch me over 1 lap. So I said to myself, just set my quali lap, and that's all I need to do, and I've secured myself a 3rd place. So coming down the hill, back into 2nd gear, flat out again. You can see me on the relative, I'm setting, you know, the best lap I've done so far of the race. Obviously with things like fuel load and things like that obviously help, but I did feel as though I'd actually got into a really nice rhythm, and I didn't think he would catch me anyway, should he have even more laps. So yeah, I noticed he was now 5 seconds behind. Got a really nice turn in there. Lost a little bit of time to where I was previously on that corner, but I was so far ahead of where I normally am. And I was just, you know, trying to set my quali lap, just trying to keep ahead of him so that I did make a mistake. You know, could I recover in 5 seconds? Possibly, and try and stay ahead to the end. So coming down the hill here, this has been obviously that problem corner for me earlier. Get quite a nice turn in, not perfect, there's a little bit of time, but nothing like I was worried about. So knowing that now that I've gone through the worst, you know, 2 or 3 corners of the track for me, I was at this point I was sort of getting really excited and sort of just looking towards the end of the race now, knowing that I've only got a few laps left. I actually lifted probably more than I normally do, although I got a really good time delta, but I know for a fact I was trying to be extra careful through that corner, so I guess just the extra bit of accuracy I was thinking of helped. Slammed on the brakes late here, and I had a really nice turn in, although probably ran a little bit wide for my liking, although I've seen other people take a similar line through that corner. So coming up to the last corner of the track now, really worries me this corner. Just breaking a straight line, as I was saying to myself, turning nice and sharp. And at this point I think I was actively cheering as I was going down the straight for my first podium in a C-Class race, which for me is a really big deal, and just shows sort of where I am right now. I'm able to lap consistently to actually take podiums. Only a couple of off tracks in the race, so my safety rating improved again, so I'm, you know, managing to avoid those incidents. But yeah, an absolutely incredible race. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, and if we go to the results there, you can see actually typing in the message, just that it was a really good race and I enjoyed actually racing against him. So he didn't respond, but it was nice to let him know. So there we are, coming in at 3rd place, qualified in 3rd of course. Set myself a really nice qualifying lap, and my race pace obviously really good there. Nowhere near the 2 who got 1 and 2. They were flying far ahead. I never even saw them, but I was absolutely chuffed with my 3rd place finish there, and I think that shows some good development there on my consistency. So yeah, thank you for watching, and looking forward to the next one. Please also remember to subscribe if you enjoying these, and let me know how I can improve. Thank you.